Hello, hello, hello. So let's see what we got going on over here. Says here, Kelly Rowland speaks out about viral exchange with security at Canis. I stood my ground. You stood your ground? To a security guard? What are you talking about? You have more power than the security guard. It it doesn't sound like you stood your ground just from what you're saying. It sounds like you wanted this person to bow down to you and they didn't because it didn't make any sense. That's like the boss saying he stood his ground against his employee. Like that doesn't make sense. Kelly Rowland has clarified her viral encounter with a security employee at Canis. Speaking with the Associated Press in a video shared to the Wire Services Instagram, the former Destiny's Child member stood her by a decision to call out the staffer for alleged mistreatment. The woman knows what happened. I know what happened. She said, I have a boundary and I stand by those boundaries. That is it. What is this boundary you speak of? She also noted that there were other women that attended that carpet who did not quite look like me and they didn't get scolded or pushed off or told to get off. Now she's going to make it a race thing. This sort of manipulation right away, she's wrong. I I have a definite feeling that she's wrong. She's the way she's speaking, the words she's using, the manipulation to make it a whole race thing right away. She's already wrong. She's trying to build up too much ammo. If you know you're in the right, you don't need to do all of that. You just tell the story. But if you're freaking building up all this ammo and you're trying to obfuscate the situation so much and you're trying to make yourself a victim to the point where it doesn't make sense because you're in a more power position than the other person, you're definitely in the wrong. Rowland then delved into what actually happened in the clip, saying, I stood my ground and she felt like she had to stand hers. Or she didn't want to be bullied by you. Okay. At the Tuesday premiere at Musilo Mio at Canis, Rowland had a tense exchange with an usher uh, who kept touching the singer's arm to rush her into the theater. What do you mean? Kept touching her arm. Like, if she's trying to rush her into the theater and she's touching her arm, it doesn't sound like she's hurting her arm or grabbing it forcefully. If she's just touching your arm to guide you, like most people, security, if they're going to guide someone somewhere, they would put, if it was a man, he would put his hand behind her back and kind of lead her forward. But as a woman, she doesn't want, she probably doesn't have the strength or whatever it is to kind of lead her from the back like that. So she kind of grabbed the arm and she's kind of like leading her forward. Because she said it's touching her arm. It doesn't say she's doing anything forcefully or anything like that. So it sounds like she's doing her job so far. What was the problem? The artist who was upset over the staffer crossing her physical boundaries called out the woman's behavior. What? So she was doing her job. She was kind of leading her. And in the process, she touched her arm. Which she doesn't like poor people touching her. What's going on? So she didn't like the fact that the woman touched her arm. So she made a whole big deal about it. The woman touched your arm. You didn't like that. That's fine. You don't have to like engage. Like she didn't doing it. She wasn't doing it maliciously. She was doing her job. She's trying to guide you. Like there's no need for you to take offense to the point where you have to call out her behavior. She wasn't doing anything against you. She just touched you, man. Like it's just human contact. Like relax. You don't like that. You have a boundary of people touching you. Fine. Just follow the direction. Just be like, oh, sorry, I don't like people touching me, and just move forward. Just move forward. Don't make it a situation where you stop and you're confronting this woman. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. There's there comes a point in life where you got to treat adults like adults, right? She's a grown woman. She's doing her job. You don't browbeat her to death because you feel a certain way. You feel like she crossed a boundary that you had, she didn't know about. You don't just assume that she was trying to do something malicious towards you. You address the situation and then you move forward. If you do that and then the person continue to do it, then you can say she's crossing the line and she's doing it intentionally or whatever the hell. But if she just did it the first time without knowing, and then, bro, like this Kelly Rowland, she's definitely doing some diva stuff right now. She's definitely doing some diva stuff because there's no way she would do that to a person that actually have some sort of power over her, because that's crazy. Like she's just a security guard, man. She's doing her job. She's guiding you. She's protecting you and guiding you. Like it's not like she was hitting on you by touching your arm or anything like that. She just touched your arm in the process, man. Like a lip reading expert told Page Six that Rowland appeared to tell the usher during the exchange, "Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. You're not my mother. I told you not to talk to me like that." Okay, so she touched your arm, and then you told her off for touching you because that's your boundary. And then you two got into a heated exchange, and now you don't want her to talk to you, like you don't want to touch you, talk to you in a certain way. You just, it seems to me like you're the bully in this situation. You don't want the position of power. She's just a security guard. It seems to me like you're the bully in this situation, man. I like, you haven't said she did anything crazy. You haven't said she did anything crazy, because even in the beginning you said you had a certain set of boundaries. So all off rip, you were admitting that the conflict was all started by you. At no point did you accuse her of going out of bounds. Just that she touched you. When the woman refused to back down from her actions, what, did she refuse to back down, or did she refuse? Did she refuse whatever demand you had of her? Because she was doing her job. She's doing her job, and you tell her, "Oh, don't touch me," or whatever, and then she just says, "Oh, I'm not, I'm not trying to do anything like that." She tried to explain herself, and then you just kept arguing her down, and then you're like saying, "Don't talk to me like that." It kind of seems like you're trying to bully her. It seems like the kind of thing that will get somebody on the defensive. You know what I'm saying? How back down do you want her to back down? She's supposed to call you master and go on her knees? Like, what kind of backing down do you mean? Because she's not in a position to do anything to you. She's just a security guard. She can't take your career away or do any kind of thing like that. So if she got her back up and she's on the defensive, you pushed. You pushed. Because any other way, she would have tried to keep her job and tried to keep the peace. I'm just saying, it doesn't make logical sense to me. If you're the one in the right, it doesn't make logical sense to me. Rowland's companion stepped in defending the singer. So she had all these people ganging up on the security guard too, because she didn't like to be touched. However, the usher kept pushing the ground up. Pushing the ground up? What? Doesn't make any sense. She kept pushing the ground up the Palace de Festival staircase. So she kept trying to get them to move forward so that she can do her job instead of just standing there arguing. Is that what you're saying? She didn't back down. She didn't freaking bow down to your lordness, and she kept trying to move this situation forward and do her job. Wild. That's wild, man. That's wild. And then you try to call her racist on top of it. Yo, Kelly Rowland, like, she's pretty and all, but like, you're an asshole. Like, seriously. It's not uncommon for red carpet security at Cannes to be strict, because it's security. It should be strict. Otherwise, it wouldn't be security. It'd just be a suggestion. With a tight schedule, they tend to rush attendees into the theater. So they do that to everyone. And they don't all go diva on them. So films can start promptly. Yeah, people are waiting and all that shit. And there are multiple screenings per night. In 2018, Canada's banned selfies on the red carpet to stop guests from lingering outside before screenings. Those who violate the rules often find their phones confiscated of security personnel covering their camera lenses. Yo, nah, this whole story, man, I just can't back her on this. She it seems like she's the bully in this situation. Anyways, till next time.